If you were to go back in time and see how difficult it was to get women, as there were barely any means of communication that we have now, but still people somehow would manage and we would hear stories. Considering how things are now, isn't that crazy? We don't have to do any of that. Nearly everyone is linked up and is easier to get to, but people are more disconnected than ever to the point where people can barely talk to other folks. Also, men no longer talk to women. I think it's important to start to see where everything went wrong and what this may or may not mean going forward. So why don't men talk to women? What women should know about men is that before making a decision, we have to figure out how dangerous it is and look at what will happen if you do that. And you can see this by looking at how men approach marriage. Most men are weighing the risks against the benefits of committing to that and what they stand to lose if the marriage ends. The same thing holds true for women have made the most progress in process that was so risky and didn't pay off. Men just decided that the juice isn't good for them. No longer worth the squeeze. Men were already afraid of being turned down. So for a man to take the chance of being rejected, ridiculed, or called a creep, but still approach means that he believes the result will be worth it. But living in a society where women think most men stand, they don't want to be seen as predators. If they are sexual abusers and rapists, why? Men would want to talk to a woman. If the average man walked up to the average woman to start a conversation, that would make him look bad. I've seen videos of a man trying to talk to a camera. How to talk to a woman without being rude or coming across as weird, and she was up. Makes the guy look like a fool. Recorded the conversation as the world turned the story that he was strange and put it on social media to make people laugh. But I'm just sitting here. I was looking at that video and wondering, why the hell would I want to talk to a girl? And to figure out what's going on, we have to know that different men get different treatment from women. I know you may be lost now on that one, so I'll tell you why. I want you guys to know what this means. Think about your standing and how you're seen. Value makes people be a little nicer to each other. It's a lot worse now than it was in the past. Women naturally had to be especially careful out there because a man could take them at any time against their will. Seeing a woman out in public is not the problem. A place in public with a lot of people around her, and she knows it's safe for her to a degree, but she was still out in public makes a man feel bad just for talking to her. So when we look more closely, we can only start to think that modern women are not respecting men in general and the average man. If she is known for not caring about the average men who try to talk to her, do you think she'd act the same way to Jeff Bezos? Jeff Bezos is a billionaire who says, hell no. He has a lot of power and is well known because of the power and position that women would not dare to talk down to a man or put him down, who is obviously much better than she ever be. At the end of the day, as you can see, all that matters is a man's status and based on how he looks, how much he is worth. As I said before, a woman will treat each man differently, depending on how she sees things. Man with respect and talk to him more. Watch how a woman and a man talk to each other. I want to know about her boss versus the janitor. They would be treated badly if they came close to her, so I'm telling you all this so you can know that the modern woman doesn't care about men anymore, and I think that most men have figured that out. Men have seen how women treat men who look like them but are not, instead of the high-value men, and deciding to leave for good. Men have realized that the way women act affects them. Attitudes toward them only get worse. They are getting worse. Men are seeing that every time. I don't know if you know this or not, men have been called by the police just because they went up to a woman and they didn't like them. So why in the hell would men risk all that and get nothing in return? Most of the time, I get nothing but BS in return. We're at this point now when men have to figure out how dangerous it is to approach a woman and come to understand that it's too dangerous and the payoff isn't enough. The squeeze when women before the 1990s was this not out of place just. It's crazy that this man wants to talk to them. I don't talk to X because X of this. Now that we've talked about that, almost everyone agrees that women's attitude toward men stinks. Let's look at if modern women are even better. You have to be easy to get in touch with them to look friendly or people won't want to talk to you. When they see you, they decide not to even try. Go near you, much less talk to you. These days, women walk around and society appear to have something stuck their backsides. I know you have to go through this, Jesus. How you felt about seeing a woman you liked and she tried to make herself look like that. Most men won't talk to a woman who looks like she doesn't want anyone talking to her, especially a guy. Don't talk to these kinds of women. When you think about the fact that telling a woman must smile so that people can see her, that is proof that you are wrong and a hater of women, then forget all that. Man is honest about what he wants. The world doesn't care about ridicules. Why the hell would he do that? People who take part in them risk being laughed at. Men have decided to leave because they've been labeled, and don't talk to women. If you want to look at it this way, see a guy who always looks angry like he can go at any time, and would you try to get violent? It's not even worth it, and better to go your own way. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.